All right, guys, welcome back to. We're going to continue with the G.I. Joe, a real American hero book. This is issue number 5 from Image, 305, sorry, from Image Comics. I know I'm way behind, but that doesn't matter, right? So this is an Andy Kubert cover, and we see, I don't know, Cobra Commander, Techno Vipers, and other Vipers, I guess. Forgive me if I don't know everything, because still I'm new. Said that a lot. So, who's on board with this book? A lot of people. Writer Larry Hama, Chris Mooneyham, Francesco Segala, Sabrina Del Grosso, Pat Brousseau, if I'm saying that correctly. And yeah, we're going to continue from the last issue as always. So Cobra Commander is here, and he said, "Hey, what's your assessment? Because there's some, unrest, ruckers, or whatever." Well, he basically investigated and said there are some cyborgs exploding here. I still want to have the action figure of Techno Viper. I believe he's a very cool character. I'm not a, how do you say? Sorry, I'm blanking. An action figure guy, but I like to have that. Okay, but moving on. So Cobra Commander wants to know what's going on. He says, "Hey, what are a bunch of cyborgs doing on the roof of the community center when he was holding a rally? Obviously spying on us." So the other guy, I believe it's also a Viper, says that they have video footage and they see the shadows, and Cobra says, "These are Cobra Vipers. Modified Cobra Vipers, to be precise. Looks like they're altered with revenge technology. It's Serpentor Khan and the traitor Dr. Mindbender." All right. So he says, "Hey, the question is, why did they self-destruct? Maybe there's a third party trashed them. If so, who?" Commander says, "And it's in all probability that person is still in Springfield. I want to search Mobilite now." All right, so we have going to the perpetrator, and she's one of the good guys. And it's Dawn Moreno reporting to Duke, and she's basically reporting what happened in the last issue. And that Serpentor Khan has sent a team of revenge-modifying mutant vipers to uncover the plan of Cobra. And she said, "I had a run-in with them." And but Duke says, "Well, you were victorious. Were you able to collect any intel of the modified vipers? They would be technically cyborgs, correct?" She says affirmative. And she talks about some kind of a programming and a technology, that also, if they are compromised, they are, self-destructing, like we've seen in this, first page. And then she sees a neighbor. And the neighbor is wearing he's Crimson Guard, called Fred 23. I don't know what a Fred series is, so maybe you can help me in the comments below to know. I mean, I know all these, short names like BAT, BAAT, what they are standing for, but Fred, never heard of it. Maybe you can explain. Anyway, he's wearing this whole CG in uniform and toting an assault rifle. So he knocks on the door and, "Hey there, Moreno, something just went down in the community center, and that has all the earmarks of your daughter, Dawn." So, they know that Dawn is working for the Joes, I guess? Or, not sure. "She's hiding here. You had the best do the smart thing and turn her in. The consequences will be terrible if you don't." So the parents look at each other and says, "Well, hey, you come in. You are right. She needs to be deprogrammed in the brainwave scanner." But of course, he punched him in the gut or in the chest, and he's been knocked out. So she comes down. He says, "What have you done?" "We didn't think we'd turn you in, did you? You need to get out of town, Dawn. Slip out the back door and through the yard. Go through Fred's property. We know he's not home." "What are you going to do with Fred? Or is it just maybe his name, Fred?" "Yeah, right. We can't kill him. He's a neighbor. We keep him tied up and slip out of town tomorrow, but you have to leave right now. Go. We love you, Nina." All right. So Duke acknowledges that she's going to, she's capable enough to get out of town, right? And then he is ordering his team to, give him some orders to do something. Like Stalker is going to the forensic team that he's about examining the cyborgs And Lady J, you take Molto along with to tighten up Spirit on the situation. He can make an informed decision on dealing with the Viper sneaking around upstairs in Camp Greer. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. There's some Viper sneaking around in the camp. So, okay, Stalker here confirms that, hey, this is a human brain and a spinal column. So that makes it cyborg. It's 90% Android mainframe. What gets me is that the mutated Vipers volunteer to have this procedure. So there's this left hand moving, like in that horror movie, Evil Dead 2. And it's jumping on her, and then, Stalker, saving day. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Like it. Now, props to the artist, I must say. This is actually what I want in comics, and that's probably the reason that although, I grew up with superheroes, right? Never with G.I. Joe. I told that a couple of times. But what I always want in comics is backgrounds, details, immersion, because I want to know where they are. There's a lot of this panel. So first of all, when it comes to backgrounds, there's some kind of a ladder on the right side, some cables, a panel. We have on the light, it looks like some kind of a shield here on the wall. I'm not entirely sure. And then we have these lights that is not, bombarding me with neon Photoshop lights. And of course, you can see this is in some kind of a underground facility. And there's a lot of detail on the clothes as well, with the different kind of sizes. Pouches, pockets, weapons, all crammed into this gorgeous looking panel, in my opinion. And with gorgeous, I mean, I like the detail and the backgrounds and the immersion. All right, so what's his name again? This Indian guy? Spirit. So he's, pulling up some... so this is not a shield, this is some computer terminal. Okay. And he's, watching with the camera what's happening above. So these Vipers wants to drop a nerve gas because they think that there's some, room down there, and there's no trap door. Must be one of the other huts. We have to check them again. Or he says, getting this pin back in. This is brain. All right, so he's reporting to Duke, and he says, hey, we need to take them out. And he says, keep one semi-intact for questioning. All right, so then this is happening, right? Do you hear that? Something is behind it. What happened to the Viper? He was right behind me. Check that blanket again. So there is a trapdoor, but it very well hidden, I guess. All right. So it's going to be a fight. So the gang is out there, and what's her name? Jane? It's probably not Jane. Yeah, Jay. Almost, Maris. Almost. So she's struggling because this guy has a nerve gas, grenades. And he said if the spoon flies off, we are cooked. It's struggling with the pin here, right? So Molto is taking out this robot. And Spirit is, dealing with that guy. You unmodified meat puppets can compete with enhanced entities, says this guy. Now, the pin is pulled, and all I have to do is release the spoon. Even with my helmet integrity compromised, my mods will allow me to survive the release of the... What? Okay, let me try that. Acetylcholinesterase blockers? Doesn't roll really good from the tongue, so I've not tried that again. But you pathetic, unmodified organics will meet an excruciating end. Not if I clamp my hands around yours to prevent the spoon flying. Lady J, pry this pin from this other hand. Good luck with that. My sinews and tendons has been replaced by steel cable. You're not going to unlock my fingers from the pin. But then Lady J comes in and just unloads a gun on this guy. So he's dead, but she cannot budge the fingers. So Molto comes in, cuts off his hand, and he says, you want a pin? You got the pin. So there's a lot of excessive force here, but I really like that. You have a real threat, so you have to deal with that in a harsh manner, or in some kind of a manner that you're gonna survive, even killing your opponents, like that. Cool. Meanwhile, on Cobra Island, so Cobra knows that they have been compromised. Probably know that they are been discovered, but he says all is according to plan. Really? Okay. But then we go to, I don't know, one of them facilities. And, since the bomb, went off, turning people into zombies, including Serpentor Khan and Dr. Mindbender, they have their intelligence to a certain degree, but they have this craving for food and, well, human meat. But they have the chance to turn into, being enhanced, right? So this guy says, is the procedure going to hurt? Like I hurt a lot? Like more than an ingrown toenail? It will be like having a root canal over your whole body. Oh, I was hoping for a kidney stone level. Now, okay, I mean, if you leave okay, I'm happy there is not always that cringe Marvel in humor in here. I don't mind a little bit humor, but, zombies and... Don't do that. All right, so this robot comes in. Python officer, are you in charge of this section? So he says yes. And the unit was cross-checking the impulse control and behavior mods chips installed in the new product, and one chip isn't listed in the original specs. So he says, well, it's just a glitch. Why don't you come in the storeroom? I'll show you. So they come into the storeroom, and it's been shut down because it's a dead zone. The storeroom is shielded, he says. Too much sensitive ordnance and material. So he then puts out a 4-ounce shank, or whatever you say, and he says, you missed the power cord. I'm not done with you. Are you going to flail me with your stump? I have backup mods. So since he's a zombie, he can do this. The Python officer has only delayed the inevitable. When the blue ninja fails to report in, a red flag will be raised. The result investigation will reveal that the new product is going to contain a chip that nullifies any revenge control. By then it will be too late. Yeah, so they are working with revenge, right? I like it when they are evil guys are backstabbing each other. Meanwhile, we go to Scotland in Castle Destro, and Zartan is here, and he says, "Hail Zarto," or Destro, and a toast then to our newly minted alliance and to the confusion of our mutual enemies. And he says something back, and I believe Scottish. Is he Scottish, by the way? Leave a comment below. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so. But then we see that, I know, he's been cameras on Destro and Baroness. And it seems that Serpentor Khan says that this is not the real Zartan. It appears Destro and Baroness has been completely taken in by our Zartan simulacrum. So it seems, but it will all fall apart if the real Zartan were to surface. I got that cover, says Dr. Mindbender. And so we see Zartan escaping or trying to get away from this rocket that is almost on his ass, killing him. All right, so we're going to see probably him in the next issue. So what do I think about it? Well, you probably already know I really, really like this book. Right? There's a lot of things in here. There's good art, and there's a compelling story. Really pulls you in. It is exciting to read. And I must say, it's been a long time, guys. I mean, I'm happy that good books are coming back, although not from the company that you would have expected. You know what I'm talking about, Marvel and DC, right? But when it comes to, Image and their the IRP, intellectual property, with the Joe and the Transformers and the, other ones, I'm really happy to pick this up. So I'm keep following this, keep reviewing this. So guys, thank you as always for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.